Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4-time Super Bowl champ, 3 as a head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, 1 as an assistant coach for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid.
Hey,
Coach.
Hell yeah.
all right, guys. How you doing?
Amazing. Thank you for taking time out of your life and joining us. We're obviously massive fans, and we know you got a lot going on, so thank you. Let's get right into it. We were just talking there about that 4th down play where Spags brought the corner blitz off the tight split. How nice is it to know that Spags is your defensive coordinator, and what are the conversations between you and he, strategy-wise, going into each game?
Yeah, so Spags and I have been around each other for 40 years. People probably don't know that, but all the way back to when we were college coaches. And so I kind of know exactly what he's thinking at what time of the game. And I have full trust in him. And whatever he likes in those situations, he dials up and goes. I'm not a restrictor on that.
Yeah, I love that. And then your special teams coordinator, Tobe, he's a Hall of Famer as well. You guys have gotten massive special teams plays in seemingly every game you've had over this recent dynastic run you're on. How have you been able to piece together this staff and then keep them? You know, Spags just interviewed, I think, for Jacksonville and for the Jets. Tobe, I assume, has gotten interviews as well. But you 3 are a master class at very important spots. What are your thoughts on Tobe and your special teams?
Yeah, I think the world of Tobe. He's another one I've been around with for 40 years. He and Spags actually went to Springfield together and played, and then Tobe transferred to UTEP, and I was the coach at UTEP. So we're all kind of intertwined there somewhere, and we know what each other's thinking, and we're able to just kind of move on with it, you know.
It has to be great to do it alongside people that you've known for so long. It's been fun to watch your team do their thing. Last year, the big conversation about your team was, they're winning in a different way. You know, they're handing the ball off. They're playing good defense. This year, you guys continue to have the best record in football, and they said, this team stinks. They're not playing good at all. They're not doing this. What do you think it is about your team and why you are able to win in such a variety of ways, Coach?
Yeah, well, Shipley told me I needed to run the ball some more. So he said, start acting like an old lineman and run the ball a little bit.
You're an O-line guy at heart.
Yeah.
That's right. So, but listen, we had a few injuries at the wide receiver spot. We were bringing guys in. So it sure helped to have that run game available. And the linemen do love doing it, and they do it well.
Coach, whenever you think about Patrick, obviously, we just talk about his greatness and how he has this clutch gene and everything like that. What do you think gets left out of the conversation about Patrick? Is it how good of a teammate he is, his work ethic? What do you think doesn't get mentioned enough about the guy who's trying to win another Super Bowl and he's only 29?
Yeah, well, you know the kid. And so he's a great kid. He grew up in a locker room. He's humble. What a phenomenal teammate. He's always complimenting his guys. He kind of knows when to pull on them and when to back off and compliment. He's just got a good way about him, and he's smart on top of all that and is a very hard worker.
Do you still draw up random-ass plays, like even at this stage of the season? Are we still drawing up ridiculous plays to maybe drop them into the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, that's the fun part. So I've got these coaches here that have creative minds, and they love doing it. We get the players involved too. It doesn't matter if it's a lineman or a quarterback, whoever. If they've got something good, let's put it out on the table and see what you got. And I've got 51% of the vote, but I'm open-minded with it.
What was it? Chili dog, corn dog, hot dog,
Corn dog.
Corn dog, whatever it was. Feels like the names of these plays are also legendary. Wasp.
Yep.
From a couple years ago, we've obviously learned about. Can't wait to see what you drop for New Orleans. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Chris Jones? Watching the guy play, it's a lot of fun. We see how emotional he gets after big wins, and it seems like this dude really cares about the team and wants to win. Can you say, what does that mean for your defense? Obviously, he's such a physical force. I know, speaking to O-linemen around the league, they obviously hate playing you guys because blocking this guy is a disaster. But what does he mean to that defense?
Yeah, listen, you and that guy next to you over there, you guys would love to have him in front of you. He's one of those kind of guys that just goes, and he's got that pass rush ability. He's a bigger human being than I think people think. He's a big old kid and loves to play. He's really developed into a leader over the years. He was a kind of a goofball when he was younger, but he's turned it into being a real positive leader out there, and I appreciate that part. So he's an all-pro player. You see him play every Sunday, and that's what he is.
He cries national anthem. He cries whenever a big play is made. He cries whenever you guys are going to the Super Bowl. It's like, I love how emotionally invested he is in your program and your team. Does that make you feel good that your biggest players are that bought into your program and everything like that when you see stuff like that?
Yeah, listen, that's real too. I mean, he gets fired up for it, and I'm good with it. He can cry all he wants to cry. I love the kid, and he can whatever. He's not crying when he's sacking the quarterback.
No, yeah, everybody else is crying. Yeah, especially about the refs. Hey, have you heard that conversation? You know, you and the refs are meeting like what, tonight for the Super Bowl? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
I try not to pay attention to any of that stuff. So
it's loud, Coach. It's loud. It's stupid. This happens whenever you win, though. It happened for the Patriots for 20 plus years. Let's talk about another veteran on your team. AQ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, congrats on going to another Super Bowl. Let's talk a little bit about Joe Thuney. Obviously, going to his 6th Super Bowl on 2 different teams, but can you just talk a little bit about what he means to that team and the character that it shows he has, being able to move from basically a Hall of Fame type guard out to tackle?
Yeah, you know that's a tough deal, man. It's a lonely area out there at the tackle spot. There's normally the other 2 spots you've got friends on both sides. Out there, you don't, and it can be a short corner at time if the tight end's not next to you. So it's you gotta you gotta be wired right for that thing and have enough athletic ability to play it, and he's got all of that.
How's that conversation go? He says, I'll go out to tackle if we need it. Do you ask him? How do we make that decision?
Yeah, he's willing to do anything. I mean, that's how he's wired. He's just he says wherever you need me, whatever you need done, I'm good to go. He's been an all-pro center. He's been an all-pro guard, and he probably would be an all-pro tackle if he was out there long enough.
Now he might be a Super Bowl champion tackle. What a career he's piecing together. Got a tough defense coming up. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, Coach, we were talking about your defense and Spags. And on the other side, Vic Fangio, he's kind of turned this Philadelphia defense around. What's the biggest challenge facing this Eagles defense in the Super Bowl a couple weeks?
Yeah, man, that guy, I can't get rid of that guy. He's everywhere. And he's tough. He's got a great scheme, and that defense plays their heart out. That's a tremendous defense. Offense too, but that defense, you're asking me about the defense, and Vic is as good as anybody in this league, man. He everywhere he goes, he puts together these defenses that are tough.
Yeah, and when they ran his ass out of Miami, they thought it was Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instead, he goes to Philadelphia, and they're flying around. Let's talk about one of the GOATs. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Coach, throughout the last couple of years, it seems like when it comes to Travis Kelce, people are saying, maybe this guy's lost a step or two. His production isn't quite the same. And then the playoffs roll around, and he turns back the clock, and he looks like, primetime Travis Kelce. What is about him that makes it, when the playoffs come around, that he's going to produce, he's going to have a 100-yard game, and in the biggest moments, he's always going to be there and come up big for you guys?
Yeah, listen, he's a great player, and he's got guys around him now. We're a little bit healthier, and so these defensive coordinators, their whole focus isn't on just Trav and stopping Trav, and so it frees him up a little bit. He hasn't changed anything from before. I mean, he can still do all the same things, but when he's got a couple guys on him, then you go a different direction and have to work another area. But he's still really a good football player. Keeps himself in great shape. Never wants to miss a rep in practice. Hates coming out of the game. I mean, absolutely hates coming out of the game. And so I love that part of him. He's one of our team captains. Been voted that for the last how many ever years here, and just does a good all around job there.
He told us that he's feeling 22. Jamming Taylor a little bit. Another guy.
I got you.
Yeah, you get it. Another guy who's actually 22, I think. Xavier Worthy. How first of all, whenever you guys draft him, trade up with the Bills to draft him, do you think to yourself, how come everybody lets us get the fastest guys all the time? And whenever you get him on your team, does your brain just immediately start cooking up ways to get him the rock?
Yeah, I mean, Matt Nagy does a good job with that. He he puts him in a lot of different positions where he can operate, and the kid is willing to do it. I would tell you that having Hollywood here has really helped that part. I mean, Hollywood wants to play every down. He wants to play every spot. He's a smaller guy, so he fits in there and kind of the same body type. And likewise with Deshaun Jackson, I was lucky to have Deshaun, and we put him everywhere, and he was an every down guy, and that's what Worthy wants to be, and he's willing to work at it.
Yeah, and your work with Tyreek obviously is well documented. I mean, the fastest guys in the league always find their way to an Andy Reid offense, and it seems like it's cheating, but it seemingly also works. We asked Coach Belichick about the advantages of having a Super Bowl experienced team. For you, do you think there is any advantages to your team understanding what this next week and a half is going to look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, it does help. We're playing another Super Bowl tested team, so it's they were there one of the times that we were there, and listen, I think in this case maybe it doesn't really matter, but it's going to be two good football teams playing each other. It's going to be great for the National Football League, and most of all for the fans out there. So, and it'll give you guys something to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully in a good way, right?
We need that, Coach. We've been talking about your team a lot with how great they are, and we can't thank you enough for stopping by for a quick trip and a quick break in the itinerary. Safe travels down to New Orleans, and good luck to your team.
All right, listen, I appreciate it. You guys are doing a nice job, man. Great job.
Hey, we're trying. You too. You guys are doing a great job. Yeah, phenomenal.
I appreciate you, Pat McAfee. Doggone it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Andy Reid. We appreciate you, Coach.
Coach.